Right, so right here we've got a brand new washing machine, and yeah, the last time I opened up a brand new washing machine was about 17 years ago, I think. Yeah, I think the last one I opened up was me Nana's Candy, if anyone remembers that on the channel. Anyway, so we're going to do an unboxing and how to install a brand new washing machine today. Right, so we're going to take the camera off. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you've got the right one. So we're going to check everything first. So we've ordered this Bush WMNBX1214. It's an A+++ energy rating, minus 30%, it's not actually there. And we're also going to check the box for any infections, so we want to keep a lookout for any damage later on, because this is the first thing you want to do. There's nothing there. And around here we've got a hole here, so we want to check that afterwards for any scratches. There's a sticker over here. I'm wondering whether this is something to do with Argos themselves, whether they take it off and then put a sticker over it to say it's gone out. A bit like a seal of approval thing. And then around here, nothing there at all. Right. And we've got our Argos thing. This machine isn't mine. I've got it for 2 weeks, and then it's going back to my ex, who's bought it. Yeah. So this is pretty exciting. Right. So what you want to do first? We need to undo these straps. We've got a set of cable cutters here, but scissors are fine. I just don't have any. And then we've got 2 on top as well. Right, the other thing I'm going to do before we take the box off, we're going to just get this the right way. You see, you've got the front and then obviously the back. So we're going to turn this around. Ready? Then we're going to lift up this box, hopefully. So we've got an insert, again with an arrow. We'll leave that in for a second. We'll lift this box up. And we're going to put this to one side. Right, just to make you understand as well, when it comes in its box, it is actually wider and taller, because it comes in as a 1 metre high and about 65 centimetres across and around 75 centimetres front to back. So just be aware that it is quite tight getting it through doors, as we found out before. Look at that though. Right, we're going to remove these sides. That's another thing when checking this. So another thing when checking this, just make sure that these polyester tiles aren't broken in any way. We had a look at the box before, didn't we? And let's see, the damage would have been on this side, at the lower back. But we don't have any, and this is the thing we need to now do. Just quickly have a look at it. Have we got any dents? Have we got any scratches? No, there's no dents or scratches. We're going to come back. Now, if there was dents or scratches, if there's only tiny dents or a tiny scratch and you're happy to live with it, ring them up and say there's a scratch or dent or whatever, and then try and get some money off, because that's the best way. You've ordered a brand new machine. At the end of the day, it should be brand new, no damage and damage free. However, if there's major dents, so that was a massive smack here or a massive smack at the side, get them to take it back because it can affect the machine's operation. Let me just give you an example. Around the back here, if this gets smacked in, which this hasn't, I've seen it before, if it's smacked in, the belt can rub against it and eventually snap the belt prematurely, and of course you want a machine that's going to last you a long time. Right, so we've got some paperwork on top. Oh wow. Right, so we're going to locate the door handle, which is outside here. It could be anywhere on your own machine. And inside, we're going to take this out, close it back up again. Cool. Right, so we'll turn the machine around to the back, and around here we've neatly got everything attached, and nothing hanging off. Right, so we're going to undo this first. I'm going to keep that on the plug. That looks pretty cool actually. Keep that there. I'm going to undo this hose. I'm just going to leave the wire there for now. So the next thing we're going to do is remove 4 transit bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 on this machine. You can apply this to any machine. These have to be removed. It could be 4, it could be 5, it could be 3. So we're going to open up our pack. And in it we have our drain hose, and we've got these as well. Now it's 4 caps, which we're going to put on in a second. We're going to place them on top of the machine. And now we need to undo those bolts. Right, so to undo these transport bolts, you need to get yourself a 13mm ring spanner like this, or a 13mm socket, but unfortunately that says 14. You can get away with doing it with 14, just about, but it could make your life a little bit tougher and it might not always work. I've lost the 13, well, I'll say I lost, I can't find my 13mm socket at the moment. But yeah, one of them will do, and that will make this is the easiest option. Most likely though, you'll probably just have some spanners, so just get a 13mm spanner, and we're going to remove each one. So we want to make it easy, put it to the top, and then push down. Right. So pull this all the way out, and this should come out. Right, so we've got ourselves a flat blade screwdriver just to help get this out. Because these are rubber, they can kind of seal a little bit quite hard. So we're going to try and get it behind it and then undo the rubber behind it, like so. You don't necessarily have to do this because most of the time they should just come out. But in this case, it was actually struggling because the rubber's properly on this time. Yep, properly on. Right, I'm going to try and twist the rubber. There we go. Whew. Yeah, this is not an easy job. Oh, look at that. like I said, not everyone. And now what we're going to do is place these caps. Not necessary to put these caps in, but it will make your machines ever so slightly quieter in operation. Right, so we've got our transport bolts. Keep these safe. And in the future, when you move the machine to another property, it's always best to put these back in. They can go away. I mean, I've done it for years. If you move it in a car or a normal van, they should withstand not actually cracking the tub or breaking any parts inside. All these do is simply hold the tub in place so it doesn't rattle and smash about during transport when being picked up by forklift trucks or on HGVs during transport. That's all they do. You can still end up with problems even though you get these still in, as wires can sometimes dislodge, and this is when problems are caused. Right, so this is going to be a bit of a bit troublesome. So you could do requiring with 2 people. However, if you're on your own, good luck. But it is possible. So what I'm going to do is lift this up. This is where it gets troublesome. Right, so hold on. Will you get out? Ooh, what's that there? So I'm just going to reach in behind here and under here. Look at that. The little block. Oh, that's to protect all the pump and everything. Cool. And now we need to put this machine into place. So the best position for your new washing machine, the best place to put it is either in a dry garage like this or a utility room. I get it, a lot of you are going to be screaming at me, I don't have neither. And you can also guarantee that you'll be screaming at me going, it's in the kitchen, which is fine. But often, having it in the kitchen under the sink causes problems. Mostly it will get dirty from food, and the other problem is I have seen it where water from the sink can end up on the control board, shorting it out, causing problems, causing faults. So it is always best to keep it in a dry garage or in a utility room, which I have both. But this is in the garage bit of the house. So, I'm just going to position it and move on to the next one. Right, a little other thing as well. When you're placing your machine onto whatever flooring you have, you're best using carpet, as it will simply just not move at all. You can use, then it's concrete, then tiles, then laminate flooring, and then finally lino. But avoid lino at all costs, simply because, especially when you're in the kitchen, you will find that moving it back and forth will just simply chew up the lino. The other problem I have is trying to move it back into position in kitchens where there's lino under the work surface where the machine is going. Now my little trick is that if you do have lino, to try and to leave enough lino so it's under the 2 front feet, but there's absolutely no lino underneath the rest of the machine, and leave it either bare tile, bare floor, whatever is underneath it. It always works. Right, the next thing we also need to make sure is that all our connections, our electricity, our draining and our water connection are all within 1 meter of the machine. So, just to show you, our drainage is here, which is roughly around 30 centimeters away, or a foot. Our power point's up here, which is roughly around 2 feet away, and our water connection is right directly behind the machine, so we're not going to worry about that at all. The other thing though as well is make sure that the drainage here is no higher, well, to be honest, it's too high. It should actually be no higher than the actual machine. You can go up to 1 meter, that's fine. It shouldn't be below 65 centimeters. But this is 1.4 meters roughly high. It's okay, but it can cause some problems when it comes to draining, spinning, and rinsing performance is ever so slightly affected, though a properly maintained machine will actually be fine anyway. Same with extending the drain hose. You can actually have your drain far away from about 5 meters by using an extension, though again it can affect, like I said, the wash performance, the rinse performance and the spin performance. I actually argue, I advise against extending the drain hose at all possibilities, though if your drain hose is high it's not too bad. Right, so we're going to attach our water connection first, but here's the trick, right, and I've seen it done many times incorrectly before. You attach this side, that's the 90-degree bend one here, to the machine, and you attach this straight to your water connection. The simple reason is because if you attach this and then you push it back, you're likely to kink it, or it's likely that the machine won't go back as far as it should. I've seen it done many times before. Right, we're going to connect this to our water, which is down here. It's a bit hard to see, but we can lift it up, because this is actually how I set it up. So this will be no different to your water connection at home. This is just a Y splitter with 2 taps on it. It's made of brass, though yours will be made of brass or silver or something like that. Right, now this can loop round, but just don't kink the connection whatsoever. So we're going to put it on, make sure it's flat on, make sure you don't cross thread the connection. And we turned it on. That's now fully on. Make sure it's not dripping from there. Make sure it's not dripping from here. So you will soon tell. Right, I'm going to take our plug. And we've undone our drain hose. So we're going to plug our machine in, hook our drain hose into the hose. Now, here's the thing, right? You can actually get away with just doing this and it will be perfectly fine. But a couple of things, don't make sure that the drain hose isn't too far down. Now this is fully down. If you did that, we'll end up with siphoning or other problems too, like it not draining fast enough and stuff like that. So make sure it's only about 2 inches into the downpipe. If you've got an under sink connection, you can see that now. Right, so if you're planning to attach the waste pipe to under the sink, this is an under sink trap. It's brand new, but obviously we can't actually attach to an under sink in this situation. But it's great because now I can show you up and close. So when you attach into an under sink like this, obviously this is where the waste will connect to the kitchen sink, and you've got two connections there for a washer and a dishwasher. Now these black things here, these are covers, and you need to make sure that these are off. But likewise, you may have the council type ones supplied by your local housing association, tend to attach to the side here, but they actually often require cutting the end off using a plastic saw. So there's that as well, and I've seen in some situations where this will be clear to look down, and I've seen on some models of these pipes where the actual stopper is inside here. So just be aware. So if it's not draining, always check around here first. Another thing is later on you may find that your machine may stop draining once it's been in for several years, and I'll show you just inside here. Can we see here with this one? It goes down and then there's that little bit inside here. Right, now this bit here stops the water from going back up here into the machine, and not only that, it also stops water from firing out of this side straight up into this side, and that's what all it does. But unfortunately over time the stagnant water, which can often from your kitchen sink contain fat, can build up and can end up blocking it. So there's always something to look out for in the future if attaching under the sink. So I always recommend always stick it into a standpipe like we have here. You should have no problems at all forever. Even so what we've done, we've removed the cap. We're going to take our pipe, and before we put it on, right, you can just push it on, and normally just pushing it on and push it on tight. Right, so we're struggling a little bit to get it on. Now, if you're struggling to get it on and you can't seem to get a tight connection, basically what you need to get is one of these. Now, this is called a Jubilee clip or a Jubilee clamp. It comes in different sizes. This one's actually way too big. It's for, well, to be honest, it looks more for for an actual out pipe like this. Yeah, this is the wrong size. I don't know where it's actually come from. It was out of my toolbox, but I deal with washers, so God knows where that's coming from. But anyway, they come in different sizes, and you will want either, depending on the size of your outlet, 18 to 25mm Jubilee clamp or a 16 to 19mm Jubilee clamp. But most washers are 19mm out pipes like this. So you go into one's 18 to 25, you put it on first, like that, then you push your hose down as far as you can, put that round there, so around that point, and then on this, you can use a flathead screwdriver to just tighten it up, which I can actually show you. This will just tighten up. But it's not going to tighten up all the way, it's going to get restricted at some point. I'm probably not going to tighten this up. I don't want to actually tighten this up. But yeah, you can use that, and also on this, if you got a 7 or 8mm socket, they normally fit around there, and it'll make an even tighter connection actually using one of them. And that's it, that's basically all it is when it comes to attaching under the sink. Just making sure that this is free of flowing water. So just make sure that all the water can go through. Right, and another thing just to mention when attaching to under sink, make sure that this is pointed upwards, or at least basically not flat or not pointing down, because otherwise water will flow back into your drain pipe, and it will either flow back into your machine or can end up creating a problem when your machine is trying to drain. The other thing too is when you put this on, onto your machine, make sure that the pipe then carries on raising up, or use a hose hook like this, or make sure that the hose continues going upwards and out of your cabinet to then go down to the machine. We're also going to switch it on. Now there is one thing it does come with, and it's this right, so if you have a drain hook hose, which is this, that this machine hasn't come with for some reason, we're going to put it over that, like that, and then clip it in, and then all that does is sit on top of there, like a hook. You've got a little thing there, so if you twist it around, you can put a nail through there, and that will keep it like so. So the next thing to do is to put it on, follow the machine's instructions. Yeah, just ignore that one first. So what we're going to do is make sure that the water connection and the drain connections are all correct and fine. So we're going to... Oh wow, that's nice. What we're going to do is we're going to select the rinse and spin function. We're going to hit play pause and let it do its thing. Right, so when this is happening, there's a couple of things you want to check. We want to make sure that the machine doesn't continually fill up with water. This could indicate two problems, where it could be siphoning down the drain, or there may be a problem with the pressure switch. So if it starts coming up, let's say above halfway up the door, then you've simply got a problem with the actual machine. It should be sent back. The other thing we want to check is the temperature of the door. Right, so it's passed its first test. It hasn't gone too high, the pressure switch is working. The motor is now also working. It's nice and steady and smooth, it's not juddery or anything. Any juddery movements from an inverter motor like this is a board problem usually. There's nothing juddery, it's not stopping starting like that can sometimes happen with a faulty board. No, it's perfectly working. Now the other thing you want to do is put your hand on the door glass down here and see how warm or cold it is. I wanted it to be cold, which if it is, like it is here, then it's correct. If you've got warm or hot here, then you've attached it to the wrong feed. Now you may be beating yourself up, but don't, because I've actually done it before. Now I delivered a washer for a customer of mine about 2-3 months ago, and the building is owned by the council, or shall I say it's owned by a housing association, but somehow they have managed to put the hot water tap on the cold and the cold water tap on the hot. So when I attached the washing machine to the cold water, it was filling up instantly with hot water. Thanks. But now we're running correctly there. Right, so the machine's now draining, and we can see that it's draining correctly. The stop-start of that pump is actually correct. Now, what can happen sometimes with the pump is that it might have an airlock or not get first time around. So by doing stop-starting, it will eventually get the pump to to work anyway. It is correct how it's doing that. The other thing we want to monitor is how fast it's draining out. Now this should drain its tub out in around 3 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes is fine. Any longer than 4 minutes and we have a draining issue somewhere. So we've now entered the actual final spin stage. Right, once you've got the machine in place, you need to make sure that the machine is stable and not rocking on any of its 4 corners. I'm just going to show you from behind since it's a bit easier. So what we need to do is push on each corner and see if it lifts up on the opposite corner. No. And then the final thing you want to do is make sure that the machine is level. Though this isn't actually particularly too important. Right, so we've got our spirit level. The zoom function on my camera is like really starting to play up now. And we can see here, right, we can see that it's perfectly level. Now I haven't even touched the feet. Now, it's just more important to keep it level like this way. But we're also going to do it that way from back to front. So we've also done it from back to front here, and this is actually the least important. So this bubble is ever so slightly this way, so this suggests that the machine is sliding back a little bit, and actually that's probably best. If not, you want it obviously perfectly accurate, but anyway, you want it sort of sliding more this way than that way, otherwise it doesn't fully drain out the tub properly. So that's the only thing. It's not paramount that this has to be completely level, but it is paramount that you must have it completely stable on all 4 feet. The only thing that you might find is if it's ever so slightly to one side, is that you will get some very slight vibration here and there from some of the internal parts of the machine during spins. But I mean, it's so insignificant in, you know, it's not going to actually fully disturb your life. So, the last thing we want to do now, before we do a wash cycle, is to now actually run that cycle that they say in the user manual. You know, so this is where you're going to run one of 2 programs. So, if you have a tub clean cycle, select that. But in this instance, on this machine, it doesn't have a tub clean cycle. It just has, well, you just select the hottest wash and longest wash available. So you just set the hottest wash, ideally on the quickest setting. I'll just show you something. If you've got a Bush or a Cater washing machine like this, the quickest 90 degree, and this is important, you need to select the 90 degree cycle on this, as if we come over to the mix cycle, we can actually go up to 90 degrees and we can select speed wash. So that's what we're going to do in this instance. But most likely on all of the machines, if you haven't got a tub clean or drain clean, you'll probably just select cotton, whack it up to 90 degrees, and just press start, because sometimes you don't even have that speed wash function. but you just want the quickest boil wash there is, or the hottest wash, whether it's 95, 85, 80 or 75 degrees, just select that. And before we press start, we also need to add a smidge of powder. Right, so when I say a smidge, this actually measures out to just 20 ml of powder. But what you need to put in basically is around anywhere between a tenth and a fifth of the normal dose. Now the normal dose on this is 100 ml, and so we're putting 20 ml in. That's plenty. Now, when I say powder, you want to pick a powder with, if you look upon the ingredients here, with oxygen-based bleaching agents. Just pick one of them. Most powders have bleaching agents. All liquids, all gels, and all liquid pods don't have any bleaching. This is why I say powder only. This is a non-bio, and the bio one has bleaching agents too. Again, avoid colour powder, that doesn't have any bleaching agents. We want to put it into compartment 2, as it always says in the manual. Basically, we want to put it in the main wash compartment, which is obviously the bigger compartment of these three. And this is got the typical correct layout of having the pre-wash, the fabric softener, and the main wash here. So that's pretty good. Thanks, Bush. So we've got some powder. We're going to pour that in there. We're going to close it up. And just for reference, the bigger compartment is always your main wash compartment, no matter what machine you have. So always pour into this one. This is the first time I've put powder in this machine. Right, so now that the boil wash is now complete, your washing machine is ready for its first load of washing. And that's it. That is basically a how-to guide on how to unbox and install a brand new washing machine, or indeed any other washing machine for that matter. You can apply it to everything. Right, thank you for watching. And if you've noticed anything apart from my t-shirts change, and this is a continuity error, of course, we've got the matching dryer too, here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if it's helped, don't forget to give me a like, possibly subscribe, and leave a comment below if it's definitely helped you. Thanks for watching. Cheers.